Welcome back, Over 50 fans. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars tight end picture. They have a crowded tight end room down here in Jacksonville, and I'm going to tell you what my take is on this situation. If you're wondering why, as a Chiefs fan, am I talking about the Jaguars? Well, I live in Jacksonville, so I'm going to talk about it from time to time. So any of you Jaguar fans out there, if you'd like to subscribe, would love to have you. Let's go ahead and talk about your tight end room. First tight end I'm going to talk about is Chris Manhertz. He has playing time with two teams, the Saints in 2016 and the Panthers in 2016. So he played both teams with both teams that year. And then he's been with the Panthers till 2020 through last season. And he was signed by the Jaguars, I believe, in March of this year. His career stats, they're right there on the screen. 12 receptions, 142 receiving yards, 11.8 yards per catch average, and 1 touchdown. So not a lot of production, but he has some NFL experience. Next up is the tight end that has the most experience of everybody in this tight end room, probably the most experience of everyone combined in the tight end room, is James O'Shaughnessy. He was drafted by the Chiefs, was a Chief for 2015, 2016 out of Illinois State. Then he was a Jaguar from 2017 to 2020. He was also just recently signed, well, not recently, but was signed on March 17th, re-signed, I should say. His career stats, 88 receptions, 864 yards, 9.8 yards per catch average, and 3 touchdowns. So he has some production, and he has more than Manhertz. The next tight end, there's not a lot to say about Ben Ellison. He was drafted out of North Dakota State. He has 1 catch for 10 yards. Same for Tyler Davis, selected out of, I believe, Georgia Tech in the 2020 NFL draft. He has no receiving stats. So maybe he's made an impact blocking or goal line situation, maybe special teams, maybe he's one of those types of guys. But as far as receiving stats, he doesn't have any. And those are the stats I'm looking at with this video. Luke Farrell, the 5th tight end. He was drafted this year out of the Ohio State University. 32 starts, 34 receptions, 380 yards, 4 touchdowns. That was his career at Ohio State. So you're looking at a guy that'll get you 1 catch per game. Touchdown every 8 starts or 8 games. So, I mean, not the greatest production at Ohio State. And I know at Ohio State, they have a lot of people to spread the ball around to. So could he be an option in the NFL? I'll talk about that. And finally, had to save the best for last, Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was a New York Met until February 17th, I believe. He spent 5 years in the Mets farm system, and he finally retired from baseball a month after Urban Meyer accepted the job to be the Jaguars head coach. He's 34 and he hasn't played the tight end position at all. Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed mentioned that a lot of people tell him all the time that, you look like you could still play tight end. He goes, sure, I can, on the PlayStation or the Xbox. And when you got a guy like that, and I'm not going to get into the debate, about Shannon Sharpe, whether you like the guy or don't like the guy. He played tight end. He played it at an elite level, in my opinion, for the Broncos and the Ravens. I can't tell you how many times I hated that guy when he played for the Broncos, but he knows what he's talking about when it comes to being a tight end. He's played the position. He says he couldn't go back and do it. So Tim Tebow is supposed to be able to go in and do it without any experience at playing the position. I'm not going to say he doesn't have a chance. I'll talk about that. Let me tell you who I think your starter is. I think your starter is James O'Shaughnessy. I think that's a no-brainer. And even if some of these other guys, go off in the preseason, I don't see how, they could be, how they could beat him out for the #1 spot. I just don't see it happening. So O'Shaughnessy's your #1 guy. Preseason, you got to remember, sometimes the guys in preseason, these are guys that might be bagging groceries at the grocery store for you, the following week. I remember when one Chiefs preseason game, I can't remember what it was, but which game it was, but special teams, the guy returned a kickoff for 106 yards, took it to the house, and he didn't even make it the next cut. And it's like, he couldn't believe that he was cut. What more could he do? So preseason, you can't put a whole lot of emphasis, or you can't bank on preseason. It's important, but I mean, you don't have the same quality of play as you're going to have week to week in the NFL. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals have just said that Joe Burrow, they're going to probably hold him out of preseason so they can definitely make sure he's ready for week 1. So anyhow, O'Shaughnessy is your number 1. I think Manhertz is your number 2 due to the fact that they have more NFL experience than anyone else left in this tight end room. Now you have Ben Ellison, as I said, 1 catch, not a lot there. I don't think Tyler Davis is an option. So I think it comes down to Luke Farrell or Tim Tebow. And this is what I think is going to happen. I've heard some analysts say this. I try to do some research on it, but Tim Tebow is like 3 to 4 games away from qualifying for an NFL pension. So I'm thinking maybe this is Urban Meyer's way of helping, sort of, hook up his boy so he can get his pension. And then you put Luke Farrell on the practice squad, and then maybe you make a change midway through the season, or who knows, maybe they find a way to carry 4 tight ends. I don't think NFL teams carry 4, but they could. So they could do that. But I think what's going to happen most likely, here's your number 1 guy, here's your number 2. That's probably already covered. I think if Tebow can show that he is an asset and can play well enough at the tight end position, I think he gets a spot. And they put Farrell, if he's good enough, if he's showing promise, they put him on the practice squad and hope that nobody picks him up. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Before I do, I'd like you to please go ahead and like this video, share this video, please subscribe. It would help so much in building my channel up. The pin question today is going to be, 1, do you think Tim Tebow will make the Jacksonville Jaguars? And 2, how do you think he will do on a scale of 1 to 10? Obviously 1 being not very good and 10 being he's Travis Kelce, which that's not going to happen. But those are going to be your pin questions. So if you would, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. So thank you for watching all the way in, and have a good one.